Hey guys, Crypto Jarhead here. So, man, all this shenaniganery. Where's my damn battery thing? There we go. Okay, 17%. All right, I'm on the charger, but my phone's old, so sometimes it drains faster than it can be charged when I'm trying to do something on it. So bear with me, guys. Um, anyway, there has been some recent questions raised about my military service and whether or not I'm actually a veteran. And there's also been some questions raised regarding the nature of my discharge from the Marine Corps. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone who has raised those questions, even the ones who claim they knew for a fact that I had been thrown out of the Marine Corps. You're wrong, but I understand where it's coming from, and thank you. Because I do believe that constant vigilance is required. It's an unfortunate reality that in today's world, people can get a lot of personal benefit from falsely claiming military service. It is what it is, and some of it arises from the patriotism that is shown in today's America versus the America in the 1960s. Veterans are looked on honorably, and their service is considered a very noble thing to do, and rightly so, in my opinion. So some people that maybe have nefarious intentions can get a lot further if they claim to be a veteran than they might have been able to just saying, "Hey, I'm Joe," or Mr. Smith or whatever. So thank you to everyone who raised those. I will admit I was a little irritated, but I think any veteran would be at least a little bit miffed when someone starts screaming "Stolen Valor" at you, because my valor happens to be not stolen. But let's be honest. I'm not a war hero. I'm not some badass. I'm not like a Navy SEAL or anything like that. I just happen to be a Marine. So this is my VA card. It's one of the older ones. I understand that there's a newer one out. I don't have it, but I was told I was fine because I have that little barcode right there, and they can scan it and pull up all my information. So that's the one I've got. Here's the backside of it. And really that should be all that is ever needed for someone to prove that they actually are a veteran. I carry this card on me at all times. It goes behind my driver's license. It's just a habit. That's where I used to keep my active duty ID card, was behind my driver's license. And so now that I'm not on active duty, I put my VA card behind there. So just to, if you're ever out in the world and you think someone maybe does, is a stolen valor case, just calmly ask them to see their VA card. We're supposed to carry it on us at all times. I'm sure not every actual veteran does, but probably 99% of us do. It's just a force of habit. Like I said, when we were active duty, we had to carry our active duty military ID on our person at all times. So it just kind of became a habit for most of us that we carry into civilian life as well. Sorry, guys. And for 99% of people, that's all they would ever need to show to prove that they actually are a veteran. However, since I am the CEO of War Dogs Gaming and we do deal with cryptocurrency, I'm also going to show you my DD214. Now, I have blacked out some personal info for my protection and for my wife and children's protection. But I did leave my full name because, again, I blocked out my middle name because you really don't need to know that. But my name is David Hopper. That is who I am. I was not actually born Crypto Jarhead. I know, hold the shock. I'm pretty sure I just blew your mind that the name on my birth certificate is not Crypto Jarhead. It's crazy world we live in. Anyway, my name's David Hopper. I was born in Ann Arbor, Michigan. For those of you who don't know Michigan geography, which is probably pretty much people that live in Michigan, it's a quasi smaller town, just a little southeast of Detroit. And it is home to the one and only University of Michigan. I grew up hearing the marching band for the Wolverines constantly. I've been to the big house more times than I can count. And I actually played on a Pop Warner team called the Junior Wolverines. So I actually had a chance to play a game of football in the big house. That was a hell of a game. One of my fondest memories. I very, very much enjoyed that. And if I hadn't gone in the Marines, I probably would have tried to get into the University of Michigan. And I had the grades and the SAT scores to where I had a fair shot. But that place ain't cheap, and I don't come from money. So, yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, let's go ahead and scroll through. I'm just going to scroll through my gallery. You're going to see a lot of like kind of programming pictures and stuff like that, and some just general hooliganery I've taken over the past couple of days. Some terrorist screenshots. Here's all the programming stuff. Little sneak peeks on possibilities for our next games. We're looking at a fairly new to me anyway, programming called Constructor 2. It's a whole bunch of tools. There's a lot of them. I downloaded a manual for it and got all these extra pictures and stuff that I didn't realize was going to be downloaded in my gallery, but it was. So, oh, and freaking hooligans got to my car. And here's a little story I sent to my supervisor about running out of tape. So I install refrigeration units, and I've been was out of electrical tape for a day and a half. Like, I had ordered electrical tape because I was running low. The previous day at 8 o'clock in the morning, I didn't receive electrical tape until the following day, about 1:30. So around 1 o'clock, I took a picture. This is where I keep my tape. This is my backup. I normally keep them right in there. Also empty. And here's the wires that I needed to tape up for this install. Clearly not taped up. And that was me being very sad about not having tape. And, you know, I was saying I'm trying to motivate the wires to stick together, right? So maybe I wouldn't need tape and I could just put the sleeve over it. But then the wires started fighting because they were in rival gangs, you know. And I tried to threaten them with violence to knock it off, but it didn't work, so I had to resort to violent reprisals to keep them in line. Anyway, I sent all that shit to my supervisor with that story, and I had my tape about 20 minutes later, so it is what it is. Okay, here we go. My DD214 with... shit, I forgot to black out my middle name there. Oh well, it's Michael. Mikey. Anyway, this is my DD214. This is the discharge paperwork that you get when you exit the military. As far as I know, all the DD214s look like this. Keep in mind, this particular form was generated in August of 2009, so we're almost 10 years later now. It might have updated a little bit since then. I don't know. I'm not active. I'm not admin. I never was. I don't know. But this is the basic layout. Just information for, you know, each individual will be different. So there's my name. The branch was the Marine Corps, USMC, Semper Fidelis. I blocked out my social for obvious reasons. This one was actually previously blacked out, and they left my last four, but I'm not even going to leave my last four out there. I got out as a Lance Corporal, that is an E3, because I lost a stripe. So I was a private first class twice, and I was a Lance Corporal twice. Because back when I was active duty, I used to like to drink and fight. I used to like to drink and fight a lot. And so I had a stripe taken away from me for an underage drinking and providing alcohol to minors, dual charge, right there. And the backstory on that was nothing sinister. I don't really think it's anything to be ashamed of, and I personally don't think it was worth a stripe. But we were at a house party. One of our Marines had just gotten a house, and so we were doing a housewarming, a little get-together, and another one of the Marines got a little too drunk and was getting violent. So we went ahead and subdued him and then called him a taxi cab and sent him back to the barracks. Well, he got caught by the duty and immediately dimed the rest of us out. So we all got in trouble just for having a party. And I mean, I feel like we did the responsible thing and we didn't beat the shit out of this guy. Because, I mean, he pulled out a fucking knife. You know, all we did was kind of subdue him, you know, and then tossed his drunk ass in a taxi cab and sent him home. But whatever. We had a new first sergeant who was kind of looking for an excuse to set the tone as far as discipline goes. And we were just more than happy to provide him with that opportunity. So he did, and we all got in a lot of trouble. Other than that, though, there was no police action, no DUIs, no. That was the only violence. The rest of it was just a regular old house party, man. Just drinking and playing card games and having a ball and hooting and hollering. I think a neighbor did come over and ask us to quiet down a little bit, and we kind of did a little bit, I think. I don't know. It's a little lazy. But anyway, so I lost a stripe. It is what it is. I heard that I got promoted to corporal on MOL while I was on terminal, but, you know, it's whatever. It's whatever, man. You know, and I did have several billets that were NCO billets. Not because I was a shit hot Marine or anything like that. It's just the job needed to be done and it fell to me. So whatever, you know, I got out as a Lance criminal. I'm proud of that. Whatever. It is what it is. So anyway, my reserve obligation date ended in 2014. I enlisted out of San Diego. I was assigned to 1st Battalion, 12th Marines, 3rd Marine Division. That is in K-Bay, Hawaii. Those are the Kings of Battle. Now, that is an artillery unit, but I was not artillery. I was a motor T operator, motor vehicle operator. So I drive trucks. That's what I do. What I did is I drove the howitzers. I would tow them where they needed to go so that they could do what they needed to do. And then if I wasn't doing that, I was driving the shells. I was an ammo driver. I was also hazmat trained and all that stuff for that. And if I wasn't doing that, then I was just driving a supply truck. I did one training op in PTA, the Pohakaloa training area, on top of a goddamn volcano, which I'm not sure if that's the one that erupted a few months ago. I haven't really been paying a whole lot of attention to that. But anyway, I spent one training op as a supply driver. I made a lot of money on that op because people would, you know, my job was to drive from the firing point back to base camp for supplies like, you know, hot chow and stuff. And just because I was going back that way anyway, there's a PX right there. So people would hand me like, you know, like, here's $80, go buy me a carton of cigarettes and keep the change. So after that, I always tried to be the supply driver on training ops, but whatever. I only did it once. And honestly, I had more fun on the gun line anyway. But anyway, 3531 was my MOS. I enlisted went active duty 2007, got out in 2011. I actually enlisted in 2006, but we'll get into that. Don't worry about it. So, fucking, where am I? Okay, decorations, medals, badges, citations, and campaign ribbons awarded are authorized. I got my GWAT, Iraq Campaign Medal with second award, National Defense Medal, Sea Service Deployment, second award on that, and a Rifle Sharpshooter badge. Now, I can explain this one, all right? I shot expert in boot camp, shot expert in my second and third year, and then about 2 months before I got out, I hit the range again, and I had a broken ACOG. And I know, that's what everyone says, but it actually happened to me, guys, I swear. But whatever, I think that the sharpshooter badge looks cooler than the expert badge anyway. Who wants crossed rifles when you can have an iron cross? So yeah, I'm a little ashamed of that one because I can shoot a hell of a lot better than that. But hey, it is what it is. My military education was 6 weeks and fucking lost in the woods in misery. God, that place sucked. I did not get my commission through a service academy, nor did I get it through an ROTC scholarship. In fact, I didn't get a commission at all. I'm not really sure why that's on there. Because, I mean, it clearly says enlisted, not officer. But, hey, whatever. It probably applies to the brass. I sold 11 and a half days of leave when I got out. I got my final med exam. And let's see, I was in a delayed entry program for 9 months and 25 days because I had wanted to be a Marine since I was about 7 years old. Before that, I wanted to join the Army. What had happened was, one of my buddies in elementary school, good old Scott, his dad is a Marine. He was a artillery Marine, actually, and he was in the reserves when I was hanging out with Scott. So when I was over at his house, and his dad had asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, I was like, I want to join the Army. And he's like, why the hell you want to join the Army? I was like, because I want to fight. And he's like, well, if you want to fight, you want to join the Marine Corps. That's where all the fighters are. The Army's a bunch of pussies. That's what he said. Okay, don't get all mad. Don't get all butthurt. All you Nancy, Anyway, I love the Army. I love the Navy. They're easy targets. So anyway, after that point, I found out what the Marine Corps was, and I was sold from that point forward. But since I was still in high school, my parents made me go and talk to the other branches first before they would consent to enlistment. And the Navy wanted to make me a nuclear engineer, which sounds really good. But they wanted to stick me on a submarine. My dad was a bubblehead. He was in the submarine service. And no, I do not. I still don't want to be in a tiny-ass compressed metal tube with nothing but other dudes for months at a time. Sorry, no, just not. That's not in it for me. Nothing against you bubbleheads, you submariners. Y'all are crazy, but in a good way. I love you. Not like that though. Okay, it might be okay, but it's just not for me. All right. And the Army wanted to make me a Ranger with a chance to become a Green Beret. So those were really good options. I honestly couldn't find the Air Force recruiter. Me and my mom went 2 or 3 days, like solid. We reserved those days to go look for the Air Force recruiter, and we couldn't find one. So never actually heard their offer. Then I went back to the Marine Corps office, and my recruiter, she told me, you should probably go in the Army or Navy because you wouldn't make it through boot camp anyway. Oh, really? Okay, I'm gonna show you. So she got me. But again, I was already I'd wanted to be a Marine since I was 7, so it wasn't that hard to sell me on the Marine Corps anyway. So let's see what else we got here. Oh, good cookie. Medal date commences in 2009 in June. As you can see, that award is conspicuously absent over here because I never went 4 years without getting in some sort of trouble. I contributed to the Montgomery GI Bill. Now I've elected to take the post 9/11, but when I went in, that wasn't an option, so you had to contribute. So it was $100 a month, whatever, for a year. Subject to active duty recall and annual screening. I never actually got invited to participate in an annual screening. I did give them my mailing address, my email, my phone numbers. I gave them all the information that they would need to get a hold of me. And I never got any letter from them for their little annual meet and greet, little Marine Corps meetup. So I couldn't even tell you what goes on in those things, but I hear the coffee is terrible. So that's, that's believable. I blacked out my mailing address and my nearest relative information because that is all of my wife's information. So it's not mine to share. Copies were sent to the California and the national central office of the VA. And you got my signature, and I have no idea who that is. Oh, R.A. Hosey, I guess. Whatever. So signed all around, is valid. And here we go. The additional information, type of separation was my EAS. My time was up. And I got out with my honorable discharge with this separation code and this reentry code right here, which I'm not a recruiter, never was, but I understand that means that I'm eligible to reenlist if I wanted. Which I've thought about doing, but now I have a family, and the only reason I would ever reenlist is if the United States gets invaded. If there's actually like I don't want to say a real war because plenty of real action happening in Iraq and Afghanistan. But if anyone ever came over here, then I would absolutely join back up. Other than that, though, I kind of like being around my family. I've done my time. I went to Iraq. And what I did over there is I did convoy security. So I actually got to do my actual job. We didn't do any artillery stuff over there at all. We provided security for supply convoys and for like VIPs and stuff like that, like escort missions. And we did a couple other things too that I honestly can't talk about, like I'm not at liberty to discuss or disclose, because we were a part of a couple of operations. But my main job was I was in the scout element of my platoon. So that meant that me and a couple other vehicles would drive further ahead in front of everyone else. And honestly, our job was to run over IEDs so they wouldn't blow up somebody more important in the main convoy. So highly stressful. I still have issues with that, but that was my job. It's what I was told I had to do, and so that's what I did. So that, for me, Iraq, it was the best of times and it was the worst of times. I didn't participate in like firefights and shit like that, but it was highly stressful and if I wasn't driving the Scout 1 truck, I was on the longer convoys. I was the guy that was driving around the refueling truck. So if I did get hit with an IED, there was zero chance I was going to survive because I'm carrying a 5-ton bomb on my payload. So that was awesome. Those were great days. But we did have a lot of fun over there. Believe it or not, there were some really, really good times back at the Hooch, at off missions, and some funny shit happened during missions, and there were some pretty stressful times too. So I feel that I have nothing to be ashamed of for my service, and I'm very, very glad that I did it. And if I had to do it all over again, I would do it exactly the same way. I might have skipped that house party that got me in trouble. But other than that, I would have done everything exactly the same. Because all of the things that happened when I was in and after I was in, they made me the person I am today. So, again, I do feel that trust is a commodity that's sorely lacking in this space, and for good reason. I'm not saying that, you guys, why don't you trust me, blah, blah, blah. No, I completely get why you don't trust me, because there's a lot of people out there that are assholes that just want to take your money, and I get it. They've taken mine too, I've been scammed a few times. I mean, shit, dude, Thorn, Chrysos, all that, a few others too. There's been a lot of platforms I've gotten into that didn't pan out for one reason or another. And that's one of the main things that, we were trying to do with War Dogs Gaming here, is to try and bring back trust into the crypto, like the whole cryptocurrency space as a whole, like just in general a little bit, but mainly focusing on the crypto gaming, because I love games. I'm actually downloading Dark Souls Remastered right now, because I was waiting to get it for $20, and Yeah, I'm not paying $40 for a game I played 9 years ago. It's just not happening, homie. But I really enjoy it. I loved the first one. Second one was okay. I got mixed feelings on it. I mean, and I love the third one. Absolutely love it. So I was excited to do the remaster, but again, I wasn't gonna pay $40 for a damn 10-year-old game, man. It's just no, not happening. I don't care. So anyway, finally got it for $20. So downloading that right now. But my point being that I love games. I love video games. I've been playing video games since I can remember. The rest of the team also loves games. That's our passion. That's what we like to do. And so we've now found a way to develop games, and we love to do that. But unfortunately, just like the rest of the crypto space, crypto gaming has been hit with people who are, a little less scrupulous about how they make their money. So I feel that trust is a two-way street. And in order for trust to be achieved, one of us has to budge first. I happen to have nothing to be ashamed of in my past. I've got no problem putting this information out here because I know who I am. And I know that who I am is what I say that I am. So there you have it, the man behind the moniker. This is me, and I do want to do a live stream. I almost said doo-doo. I do want to do a live stream soon, just kind of telling my story similar to what Country Boy did. And I'll be be more than willing to go, my whole life story, because it's a pretty interesting one, I think. I might be a little biased, though. I'll admit it. I'm probably a little bit biased, but I think it's a fairly interesting story. And I do enjoy telling it. But I don't want to get into all that in this video. I just wanted to lay to rest any fears or anything like that I am not who I say I am. I actually am a veteran. I am a Marine. I was honorably discharged, and I can prove it. So, but again, I do want to thank everyone who raised the question, because I do believe that vigilance is very necessary in that realm. As far as Stolen Valor goes, it is a fact that people can get a lot of, they can, in today's society, you can get a lot from falsely claiming military service. You can go a lot of people can go a lot further in pulling a scam or, doing this, that, or the other by falsely claiming service that they didn't earn. Because the American people, we trust our military, and I think for a good reason. So it is good to be oh, man. God damn it. Sorry, I just found another wasp's nest. I took care of one like a week ago. Now there's another one? What the hell? Go away, wasp. Alright, so I guess I gotta go get a can of Raid and take care of that tonight. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this video. I feel it's gone on for a little too long already. But this is who I am. This is my past. This is what I did in the Marines. So as far as Terrace goes, I'll do another update video just on Terrace a little bit later tonight. But I'm going to spend some time with my kid because I had an earlier work day than normal. So I enjoy that very much. But I've been wanting to do this video for about a week and a half now. Maybe a week. I've been so damn busy. I don't even remember when I first heard these Stolen Valor allegations. But it's just work, family, Terrace, lots of stuff going on. Speaking of family, my kid's awake from his nap. So anyway, have a good day, guys. I'll talk to you later. Jarhead out.